Alright, so I got a little gopher infestation going on in my driveway, or on the road just out past my house and in the lawn. So I'm going to do a little work. Now this is going to take a little bit of precision shooting. So I pulled out this old plywood box. Thought you guys might like to see what's in it. Actually, it doesn't take that much precision, but since I've got the precision, I like to use it. This is something I inherited from my grandfather. It's a Remington Matchmaster, model 513T. Alright, stamped here on the barrel of my Remington Matchmaster 513 that I inherited is BYY. Let's look that up and see what it means. Alright, in doing some research on the serial numbers for my Remington 22 that I'm doing a review on, I came upon this. And as you'll recall, a second ago I showed you the barrel markings on my 22, which are BYY, a little different from what you see on the screen, the image that they show right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down here, and it shows you what the month code is. The month code being B for January, and the year code, you just follow this sheet down until you get to YY 1952. So my Remington Matchmaster 513 that I inherited from my grandfather was made January of 1952. Howdy, this is Tack from the Adventure Cowboy channel. This here is my Remington model 513T Matchmaster. As I went over earlier, it was made in January of 1952. And it's not in exactly pristine condition, but it was given to me by my grandfather, who used to shoot it competitively. And I probably shouldn't shoot it, but I do, because I know that's what he'd want. Now, I don't do much bench stuff with it, or target shooting, once in a while. But mostly what I use it for is controlling varmints, like Colombian ground squirrels, or what we call gophers. It's got a 20 power Unertl scope on it, just external adjustments so that there's no moving parts inside the tube. Everything's on the outside. These are MOA adjustments. It is fixed 20 power, adjustable objective for focus from 50 feet to 200 yards. And it's very, very clear for an older scope. I really can't find too much information about these Unertl scopes other than that they're a valuable scope. The 10X version was, or 10 power version rather, was used in the Vietnam War by the United States Marine snipers. Similar scope, just this is a 20 power. Okay, so for a demonstration as to how some of this stuff worked. Now this is a little bit short for me. It was literally set for my grandfather. I don't shoot competitively with it, so that's why I'm not using it. I'll try and turn this way. This little hook clips up here. And then you can use, there's a lot of actual gunslings, shoulder slings that can be fitted for this procedure. But cuff goes around your arm. And it's for stability. People wrap in different ways. personally, I kind of like this way. And then, like I said, this isn't adjusted for my arm. This is my grandfather's, and he's the last one to use it. But anyhow, that's how that works. And then another modification that my grandfather made. Now this, you see a little nut braised right here. This is something that you can actually buy, but my grandfather, well, he's a farmer, so he just made his own stuff. This T-handle might look a little bit strange on the end of this rifle, or on the bottom of this rifle, but it had a real practical purpose. The kind of shooting that he did and the tournaments that he did weren't really bench shooting. They did a little bit of it, but mostly what he did was 3-position matches, prone, sitting, or 4-position, I'm sorry, prone, sitting, kneeling, and standing, or offhand. But they'd use this handle so that they could get their elbow down in their pocket on top of their hip and use that for a brace for offhand shots, or whichever position they needed to be in. And I'm not going to take the butt cap off, but this is a homemade, obviously, little extension that my grandfather built. But what this does is screws on the end of the butt right here, and that'll go under your armpit. So if you combine this T-handle underneath the gun and this underneath your armpit, you have a very stable shooting platform. This is not a light gun. This is actually quite heavy. I would say it's not quite as heavy as my Sharps, but it's right in there. This is probably a 9-pound gun, 10-pound gun. I need to weigh it and find out for sure. But those are just a couple of the neat little features. Competitive shooters often wear shooting mitts or gloves, and they're kind of padded with a felt. This whole thing is real special to me. I'll be reviewing a lot of guns on this channel, but this is probably one of my favorites. Well, because my granddad, who's passed on, passed this down to me, and I'm going to pass it down to my son. Good stuff. Hope you all enjoyed it. You can't. Wouldn't be complete if I didn't showcase his plywood gun case here. Pure class. Pure class. Well, my grandfather, he was a farmer. Farmers back in the, well, this would have been in the 50s when he was shooting it. They didn't have a lot of money, so most of the stuff that they had, like this gun case, is stuff that they made themselves. This is Tack for the Adventure Cowboy channel. We'll see you on the next vid. Kept this. This is 10x advertisement from who knows when, way back in the day. This 10x rifleman's glove cost $5 back in those days. And then this is pretty cool. Back in Montana, it was my grandfather's shoot schedule from when he was competing. Anyhow, I need to go blast some gophers, so we'll come back to this stuff later.